Hello everyone, Dragon of the East Blue once again bringing to you yet another video, and this one here is going to be my reactions to the Xbox One reveal that happened the other day, and talking about the console war. As you guys saw by the reveal, it was a pretty shitty one. The console was pretty disappointing, the reveal was pretty disappointing, we didn't get what we actually wanted. And to be honest, I knew it was going to happen. Just the progression of how gaming has changed, especially in the United States and North America, it wasn't working out. You knew it was going to happen. And not to cause any issues here, but Sony stocks did go up by 10% in the single day since the reveal, and I'm pretty sure it's going to go up during the next couple of months. Now look, I'm not trying to start a console war, but I am going to explain the differences between the Xbox and the PS3, essentially going over the different types of gaming, primarily the concept of American and Japanese gaming. But before I go to that, let's just make fun of the Xbox One's name. The Xbox One? What happened to the Xbox 720? That was a pretty cool name. Like, what was wrong with that? I don't get it. Like, look over here. This is an Xbox One. I don't know why there was a problem with the naming, because there's Xbox, now there's Xbox One, I don't know. Anyways, this is the Xbox One. And the concept of American gaming is a sense about the multiplayer experience. That's what the Xbox primarily does compared to Sony. That's why I'm saying there's a difference. It's not really which one is better, it's literally which kind of gamer you are. If you're a multiplayer gamer and enjoying games with a lot of multiplayer like Call of Duty and Halo and so forth, you're gonna prefer the Xbox. That's the kind of mentality you got, and that's just the concept of internet being very popular and being introduced into gaming with the United States. So American console number one is going to be the Xbox because of the multiplayer. That's American style gaming. Now what is Japanese gaming? Well, it's actually gaming that we grew up with, you know. Remember back in the old days, right? With the Nintendos, the PlayStation 2s, and the GameCubes. These were all single-player consoles. Nintendo and Sony promoted the long storylines of single-player games. There's Love Sense of Mario, Legend of Zelda, Metroid. All these games were designed with intense single-player games, massive storylines, lots of information, a lot of gaming. You put hundreds of hours. Pokemon, remember with the DS? And then the original Nintendos on the Game Boy Color, Advance, SP, all this stuff was single-player intensive. That is the American, that is the Japanese gaming mentality, to have long, great storylines. And that's what we grew up with and what we prefer. That's why I bought the PlayStation. Because I love Japanese-style gaming, I love long, single-player games. And I don't know, there's something wrong with the Xbox One's mentality here of trying to incorporate the concept of family-friendly gaming to include more of a family-friendly console. That's the same mistake Nintendo made with the Wii 1. And that was bullshit. That's why they dropped it and created the Wii U, which is an actual gaming console. Thank you. Xbox didn't learn from that, and now they created the Xbox One. Why? Where are the games at? That was stupid. And it's probably why that's why actual gamers are going to move on to the PlayStation 4, because that's where the games are going to be. Now, let's not start any wars here, really, with that kind of thing, because there's a lot of great games on the Xbox. Halo was awesome until it became mostly multiplayer, and they got rid of the concept of single player, which fucking sucks. Gears of War, amazing. And of course, the Xbox arcade stuff is fucking awesome. Those are all great. But the problem with online multiplayer is that it's caused a lot of controversy with the gaming industry. It just creates this concept of no more single-player games, which can be very great ideas, but instead you're getting a lot of repetition with the concept of multiplayer. You lose the greatness of the single-player stuff, and it's a big shame. Now look, there's different kinds of multiplayer. Back in the Nintendo consoles, multiplayer was four of us, 4 ports in the front as you can see, sit on a couch and have fucking fun. That's awesome. But even games that were not necessarily designed for multiplayer, that had mostly single-player games, when you die, you would pass the controller over to your friend. That was multiplayer, and that was good enough for us. The online multiplayer was fun in the beginning, but then things changed. It changed the console, and that's why it changed the Xbox, and it also changed gaming in general. Here, let me show you. The original Call of Duties. These are both 2 copies of Call of Duty 3, as my original copies of Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, and 2 Big Red 1 on the Xbox ended up being broken when I dropped my first original Xbox on top of that, and my Halo 1 and Halo 2 discs. Fuck me. But as you can see, these games were originally designed for the concept of great single player. Now Call of Duty 2 introduced the multiplayer. and then increased it to 12v12 instead of 4v4 in Call of Duty 3. But still great long storylines, and they're still a blast to play. I still love replaying them now. However, that kinda changed as the games progressed to now. Mostly single player has been removed, and it's all about the multiplayer. That's a huge shame. I love Call of Duty. I still enjoy it now, and I think they do make pretty good single player. Too fucking short. 6 hours? No, give me more than 6 hours. I mean, the multiplayer isn't that bad at all, but it's what encompassed the game and made it too, like, it encompasses everything, all these games. And because of that, it's caused the gaming community to be shifted on what is actual gaming, where is gaming headed, and that kind of thing. But going back to the consoles themselves, the Xbox and the PS3, it's interesting how the PlayStation 3 continues to promote, even though it's got the multiplayer aspect. As you can see, most of my games at online multiplayer are for the PS3. There are a lot of single player stuff designed for the PS3 that still makes it pretty good to play on. That's kind of why more people say that the PS3 is more of a gaming console, because it encompasses a lot of the older games. But actually, let me just show you. Let us split down the middle my American games with my Japanese games. Japanese games: Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, Soul Calibur 2, 3, and 4. Massive fighting games like Tengoku Basara, tournament-style martial art beat-em-ups like Tekken and Dragon Ball Z, and of course the beautiful hack and slashes like Devil May Cry. I don't have the new game yet, sorry. Comparing those to the American games like the Call of Duties, Battlefield, fucking hate these games, and everything else designed for American gaming, which are a lot of first-person shooters and sports games, and all the other stuff I have over there, which is Guitar Hero, Rock Band, you know, Rayman M, FIFA, a couple of game movies, that kind of stuff. So as you can see, there is a difference in the gaming. However, there is the concept of the single players of American games on the PlayStation 3. For example, the re-releases of Ratchet & Clank, the first 3 games, and Jak and Daxter. These are the PlayStation exclusives that were great single-player games, and I fucking adore them. Great stories. I think Jak and Daxter is one of the best stories I've ever made. It's such a great storyline. And you know, fucking Ratchet & Clank is a great combination of shooters and platformer. Like, it's a lot of fun. And that's on the PlayStation. Even though it's got the multiplayer aspect, you're not going to find anybody playing the multiplayer. I tried, popped it in, nobody. And of course we have famous ones, which is more the concept of sandbox games like Grand Theft Auto, and of course games like Red Dead Redemption. Great single player open world games, with the concept of multiplayer, but it's all about the story. And of course, the most famous out of them all, and that's fucking very popular here in the town that they were created, motherfucking Assassin's Creed. Now this is a single player extravaganza. The first one didn't have achievements. It is such a great single player experience, a great storyline, and it's all on the PlayStation 3. Of course it's on the Xbox 360 as well, and on the PC. What I'm talking about though is that why is it so popular here in Montreal, where Ubisoft is situated and where the game was created? Why is it so popular here as opposed to the Xbox? Like I said, the concept of single player gaming. Of course people are going to love playing the multiplayer, which you see in extensive and other Assassin's Creed games, but the PlayStation for some reason did more popular, and the reason for that is because these are primarily single player games. When I went to pick up Assassin's Creed 3, I couldn't get it for 2 weeks, very close to 2 weeks. I was even told that maybe even a month I couldn't get the game, because they were always sold out on the PS3. Xbox 360, they were never purchased. I actually scratched the side of the plastic, not anywhere like dangerous, like right here where you wouldn't even see it. I scratched the plastic of the saran wrap here, and see if anyone would buy it. Every day I checked, that game was never taken off the shelf. None of them were, just full. No one was buying them for the Xbox. And then, of course, I managed to get this copy finally, getting it used after a week because someone wanted to play the multiplayer, which I never fucking do, except to, of course, experiment with it. And then, of course, the game was brand new, and I managed to save $30 on it. So, what does that say about Xbox players? They're all for the multiplayer. You want to get those online, achievements and that kind of thing. Granted, I love trophies, and Assassin's Creed 2 was the only game I 100%. It's the only game I platinumed. Because there was no fucking multiplayer achievements. I want to get all these other Assassin's Creeds 100% and get them to platinum, but there's online multiplayer achievements, so fuck that. I'm going to get trophies only in single player games only. So, what does that to say about gaming? That these single player games are really intensive and becoming more and more popular on the PlayStation than they are on the Xbox. In fact, hasn't there been companies like EA and so forth saying they're not going to make any more single player games? That's awful. I mean, those are the best games ever made. Those great single player games. So what are you doing, Microsoft? What are you doing with all of this? The Xbox One? It's gonna tank now. People were annoyed with the Kinect and all these gay functionalities, and everyone is gonna hate you because you're promoting this so-called next-gen concept of great family entertainment. It's a gaming console. We are gamers. If your family games, that is awesome. But it is not made for the family. It's made for you gamers and to have a fucking fun time with other gamers. That is it. Look, my sister is not much of a gamer, but she's getting into it, and that's great. But my mom's not jumping into it, and neither is my father, or my aunt, or my grandma. It's not gonna happen. Just because I'm making a family-friendly console is dumb. We are gamers. Let us have our fun. And, you know what? What are we gonna do here? Can't change that. Who knows if the PS4 is actually going to cut up and make things better for us? It may be just as bad as this concept of the Xbox One. Maybe everyone is going to stay on the older consoles for a while longer. I mean, hell, I missed out a lot of games. I'm sure everyone else has. So, what is there really to gain from all this? Come on, Xbox, step it up. You don't have to get rid of the concept of online multiplayer because there's a lot of people that do like playing the online exclusive. So let people have that kind of fun. But if you're gonna slap them all in the face by looking into what people want for this gaming console and going in the opposite direction, you're going to destroy yourself. It then begs the question about Xbox exclusives. Will they have even a future now because the console doesn't really want to provide them what they actually want? Could we finally see Halo on the PlayStation? Gears of War? Could it finally happen? Who knows? It's all going to spell out in the last quarter and in first quarter of 2014. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. Hopefully we're still going to get some great gaming consoles, some new wonderful games, and I just pray to the gods that things will turn out because, hell, I don't think the Xbox is a bad console in the slightest. Multiplayer is fun. I'm primarily a single player game, but there is joy in the multiplayer. So hopefully both consoles can find a sweet spot and everyone can be happy with this. Hopefully. Don't go the way of the first Nintendo Wii, Microsoft. That was a shit console. Fix things as fast as you can. Anyway, this is Dragon's Blue saying sail on, and I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of flaming down below saying that I'm wrong, but the difference is that I'm an actual gamer. I actually know what I'm talking about. I've played on many consoles, I own many consoles, I've played many different kinds of games, and I've been playing for a long time. So, I think my information here, my input, is kind of valid. Just saying. Cheers, guys.